Hello and welcome to another Dawi Thunder campaign stream. Yes, I am the heir of Carthage, and much like Creative Assembly, I've decided to use an extremely intense, overly dramatic voice to introduce my stream tonight, much like... Okay, did you all see the campaign video today, by the way? It was pretty good. Maybe we should watch through it real quick together. I think once we get everybody joined in, we'll watch it together. I need to switch over here. Hola skinks, what's going on? I guess, you know, fellow Dawi, whatever. We're not playing any skinks tonight, but welcome to the stream. Initiate Operation Oversalt, that's right, Werner. Can you all hear me okay? Did my... Yes, the trailer voice, that's right. We did the trailer voice. I had to make fun of CA because they put out a video today. And I was pretty excited for the campaign fly-through video. And it wasn't like bad or something, but it's another one of those videos with like a very overdramatic narration that had like a whole lot of words and not a lot of value. Like, I think we kind of got to see where Cathay is at on the map, which is cool. So we know where Cathay is going to slot in. We already kind of knew. Or hang on, I got to fix something on my stream just real quick here, folks. I'm going to stop streaming for just a second. Then I'm going to resume streaming, so hang tight. Alright. I think I'm back. It's possible I'm back. Yes. Air is back. Myself over here just a little bit too, because I'm right in the way of that logo that's popping up on top of my face. Alright, so... Yeah, sorry. I had to fix the resolution. YouTube gets mad when I stream in 2K, but try to do ultra low latency streaming. So I've forgotten to downscale my video to 1080p. I don't know why they do that. I used to stream like 2K just fine on low latency, and then like all of a sudden they started caring. I don't know, it's weird. I don't know why they do that. I mean, you can stream at 2K, but you've got to have like way more latency, which I hate. Because already there's, to me, what feels like 4 or 5 seconds of latency between you and I would like for it to be on that. Warner says you should check on Troy's latest patch. I do want to. I do want to check on it. But yeah, I want to watch the Warhammer 3 campaign flyover video, but we'll do it in a little while once we've had more people join. I don't want to do it right this instant because I want to be live for a little bit and we'll get some more people joining. Nikki, I don't really have much of an update on the painting. I haven't gotten to do much the last couple weeks since Thanksgiving, but I'm planning on doing some because I've got some time off. I've been crazy busy. I've barely been able to even make any videos. My day job, I've taken on some new responsibilities. And my day job has been, like, ridiculously busy, which is good. I like being busy at my day job, right? Because it means that you're needed and valued. So I'm glad for it, but it just, you know, like, in the past, if, you know, I had a slow moment, you know, I could take, like, a break and record a little bit. That's just not happening right now, which means that most of my recording time is in the evening, and that also competes with my time for Mrs. Air, and so I'm trying to balance all those things. And do my best to get through it. But yeah, so that's kind of where that's at. Hey, Dementia! Thanks for the 20. He says, why was the Great Bastion today so thin? Looked weird because it was so thin for the height. How did the construction permits get issued? We'll take a look at it, Dementia. Thank you so much for the 20, and thanks for being here. We do have the 2.0 version of yourself here. And he will be doing much slaying. But yeah, anyway, we have to get on top of the slaying. But let's get this thing going. Dementia, thank you so much again for being here. I'm gonna be trying to make extra videos this week. I made a couple of funny Halo videos. I've got a Rome campaign video that I released. I'm gonna have some more videos tomorrow. I'm gonna cover the Warhammer 3 flyover video tomorrow. Probably talk a little bit about Slanesh. I just haven't done a lot of news videos because CA's pumping out the news so fast that unless you do this full time, you just can't keep up. Like, I can't. I haven't even hardly read half the stuff they put out. It's too much stuff. Like, I know some of you like it, and that's totally fine. Like, if you like it, great. I'm glad that it's doing what you want. But for me, It is way too much crap and way too fast. Like, I cannot keep up with it. Some of it's interesting, and I'm glad that they're putting out news. Like, it means that the game really must be in its final, stages, which is exciting. I mean, launch is coming up in a few months. But man, it's crazy how much news they put out. Dementia, thanks. Good grief, man. You've been on an absolute, roll of kindness towards me here. He said, thank you for the 10. He says, which grunt propaganda announcement has been your favorite from Infinite so far? I think they have one that I think's pretty funny. I recorded a couple more. I'm going to make short videos out of them over the next couple of days. But I think my favorite one so far is the one where he says they're melting down all the warthogs to make bullets. So the next time you get shot, just know that you were instrumental in helping you be shot or so. It's hilarious. It was a pretty good message. But I love the grunt propaganda in Halo Infinite. It is absolutely hilarious. I signed on to multiplayer today for Halo Infinite, and I played a couple, because they'd added some playlists, and I played a couple of matches of Fiesta. It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. The funny thing is it's the same gameplay as the campaign, right? The way you grapple, shoot, aim, run, clamber, all that stuff's the same. For some reason, for me, the campaign is just so much more fun than multiplayer. And I don't dislike the multiplayer at this point. I dislike the progression system and all that other stuff, but I swear the campaign is just more fun. And I'm fine with that. I really like playing campaign. But at the same, I don't know what it is. Like I said, I mean, yeah, the progression system's messed up. Yeah, the store in Halo is terrible and really predatory, but you don't have to do any of that stuff, right? It's not necessary. The gameplay, I don't know how to explain it. For some reason, like I said, I played my couple of matches of Fiesta, and I was like, yeah, that was okay. Now I'm just gonna move back to the campaign. So I just went back into the campaign. I think it was shortly after that I loaded up that warthog full of guys with the arcane sentinel beams and the exploding skewers. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with Halo Infinite right now, a whole lot of fun. I'm not gonna make a long videos out of it, but I'll probably make little short videos like that, where I'll just, if something funny happens, I'll capture it and release it to you all, and then I'll just keep making my Total War videos like normal. So that way the Halo videos don't take up any time from the Total War content, so the people who came here for Total War, because I am a Total War channel, they'll still get what they're looking for. But at the same time, that'll allow me to release a few Halo videos without having to really spend any extra time producing them, right? They're so short, easy to do. Aaron says more airtime. Thanks for being here tonight, Aaron. It's great to have you here. Thank you. I am going to push to Grinstead here. Then we have business to attend to. I can't reach this settlement in one turn, and I can't reach that one in one turn. I need to take Eschen, actually, because I need the wine there. But I can't reach that in one turn. I'll move back to Castle Tempelhof, try and make an approach to Essen. I'm missing any other armies? I don't think I am. I'm very excited for Warhammer 3, folks. Yeah, I get a little bit frustrated with the overly dramatic narration and, the overwhelming amount of news and stuff like that, but man, Warhammer 3 looks good. And I love Warhammer 2 still. It's tons of fun, but I am feeling the need. I am definitely feeling the need for, a new Warhammer Total War game. Badly. Oh, my loot. Absolutely beautiful, but I'm just going to go ahead and steal their settlement, because the pottery is actually really important to me as well. Ooh, we picked up a Tormentor sword.
Master of Runecraft.
It's pretty handy. I'm going to throw that on here. Yeah, that makes it where someone can't move. So we'll snag that Tormentor sword. I don't like being so dang slow. Golly, that's slow. We could always do some upgrades to make him faster, I guess. Physical resistance. Holy crap, it is Clone Trooper Wheeler, or should I say Dawi Trooper Wheeler. Coming in with a 2,000 yen. He says, "What doth transpire within thine stream?" I'll tell you what's transpiring is gunpowder, and plenty of it. In fact, we've got some armies coming. Clone Trooper, I'll just show you here's your latest army. Mostly the same for you, but it's because you're on a mission up north. You had to go take Beckhoffen. But Beckhoffen has the right building, so we're going to be able to rearm you up here with some better stuff. So I hope you're excited, because you're about to get rearmed and re-equipped with some major guns. But hope life is good for you. Thank you so much for the support. Warner says hyped as heck to play with those axe guns. Yeah, me too. Kislev is definitely still high on my list. It was interesting they mentioned today. Thank you so much, Clone Trooper. Appreciate you being here with us as always. You are an absolute amazing standout person. Love having you here. How's the Minecraft server going, by the way? Yeah, they mentioned in the video today that the Patriarch guy is going to be like fighting against Zarina Katerin? I didn't know that. Like, are they going to like be at war with each other on the map? If so, I mean, that kind of sucks for Kislev. Unless you can give him a beatdown and like force him to confederate. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see Shug's army here. We're building up Shug's army. Shug was also a huge supporter in that last episode we did of this, so that's where we got the name. This lord. Longbeards, guns, gyrocopters. Let's get back into a skill tree. Probably gyrocopters would be good. Flame cannons. Okay, we got the gyrocopters, gyrobomb. Oh, we did it already. I probably thought I was doing the one for Quarrelers and Thunderers and Rangers. The only faction is Ogres. Get in my belly. Mr. Ironcut. Ogres are going to be fun, too. It looked like if I understood the map right, so Kislev... So really, what I saw on the map is... Kislev is basically where we already see it, except it looked like they had done a little bit of redesigning on the campaign map, which is cool, right? But Kislev is still here, basically, on the map. And they mentioned Oblast, like, because they had Southern Oblast and up here, the Cursed City of Prague. They mentioned all this stuff, so this should still be on the map. And what they showed for Ogres is they were basically out here. Right? Ogres were out here somewhere in between. It looked like a lot of this had been filled into. They may have been down here. I don't remember. But the Ogres are out here somewhere. And then further over here was going to be Grand Cathay, like up to the north and east of the big map. So it was kind of neat to get an idea of where everything's going to sit. So Kislev, of course, going to be right up in this vicinity. Ogres somewhere out in here. And then I think a little further north and east was Cathay. And then they didn't show the Realms of Chaos yet to us in terms of how the map plays out. So one would assume, hopefully, they're going to make another video. Either that or it was just a big fail. Yeah, one way or the other. Jonathan, thanks for being here tonight. What the crap is going on indeed? Thanks for joining us.
I am the White Dwarf.
Yeah, it was, like I said, the video was okay. Like, there was a few interesting things in it. I wish they would be a little less dramatic. It'd just be a little more informative, but whatever. It's a personal preference. It doesn't matter. We're getting news about the game. So, whatever it is. They're the ones with a marketing department. I wouldn't claim to know anything about marketing. Mortal Empires on 3 is going to be so epic. You were right, One Rio Dream. It's going to be really good. It's going to be so good. Looking forward to it. Ready to whisper in the Monkey King's ear. That's right, Senshi. Ooh, check it out. We caught Queek going underground. It thinks he's going to kill some of my units? That's hilarious. That is not happening. Like, Queek is not touching any of the units in Grumbrindle's army. Like, that is just not happening. So glad those are warp grinders and not the mortars. Alright, let's fight this. It looks like Cathay is going to be having some interactions with the Skaven in the campaign as well. Like, there was some Skaven right next to some of the Cathay settlements. I guess that's the closest we've come to seeing some campaign gameplay. They are really holding out. I bet they're waiting for after the holidays. They'll probably wait till after the holidays and then give us some campaign gameplay.
The Clans unite! Dwarf
Just a guess on my part, but I'm thinking that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting to get the holidays over, make sure they got the game in the position where they want it, and then they're gonna release some gameplay. Holy crap, Dementia, dude! Says, well, thanks for the 10. He says, will Archaon actually be as scary as he's supposed to be, or will Chaos continue to be less threatening apocalypse, or the least threatening apocalypse ever? Man, they made him a lot stronger in this game, and then with the legendary Chaos invasion, like, I mean, Chaos can be pretty legitimately strong in this game now. Now, that said, there's not much flavor to the Chaos faction that we have at current, and I definitely think that Chaos is going to be way more fun to play in Game 3. Especially since, you know, Tzeentch is very different, Slaanesh, Nurgle looks like it's very different. Khorne is kind of your typical Chaos, in a way, right? In some ways, Khorne doesn't seem very unique, but I don't think they're bad. They're really good at melee. And their spell resistance will be slightly unique in that sense that they'll be, you know, somewhat resistant to spells. Hope Norska gets some goodies like Beastmen. Yeah, we would assume they would. They're the only Game 1 faction that wasn't touched in some respect yet. So I do think we'll see Norska get some love. What we got up here? Is that a dwarf thing menace? I'm gonna go start shooting up this chieftain. Then I want my grudge thrower to open up on the rattling guns. Multiple units of rattling guns. Yeah, thanks, Dementia. I think Chaos is going to be a lot more fun because there's going to be 4 flavors of them. I am curious to see what they do with Archaon's Chaos faction, which, what do people call it? Chaos Undivided? I could have that wrong. Again, this game is not my strongest point in terms of lore. Just trying to keep up to some extent. Yeah, so not 100% sure what they're going to do with them. So I'm curious to see what happens. My Quarreler should be able to straight up beat these clan rats in a melee. I'm going to start targeting Chieftain. I do not like those rattling guns. They're going to be a pain in the butt. I don't really have a great answer to the rattling guns at the moment. Get a cinder shot out there on them. Won't do much, but any of them I can kill is good. One of slowness on the dwarf thing menace. Another annoying summon here. I think we took out the chieftain. Let's get rid of those poison wind globadiers. Let's start shooting those rattling guns. Alright, we slowed down the dwarf thing menace. Start targeting it. Okay, copters, getting hit with some warp fire throwers. Warp fire throwers are pretty brutal. I thought I gave these guys an attack order on the poison wind globadiers, but I did not, apparently. Get our Zuffbar 42-pounder going. I hate Skaven. I mean, when I am the Skaven and I've got a lot of poison wind, like mortars and stuff, then I like Skaven, but I hate fighting against Skaven in campaign. It is so unsatisfying. Am I the only one? You all like fighting against Skaven in campaign? Like, they are just like, they're like a cheese grater across your face. They're so annoying. All the summons and the warp lightning and the nonsense. Oh, Queek was over here. He owned my runesmith. Where's Gromby? Gromby, get over here and own Queek. Skaven OP, please nerf. Yeah, I don't know if they need nerfed. I guess it's just their units are just irritating. Like I said, it's like someone took a cheese grater and started rubbing it across your face every time you have to fight them, especially if it's a siege battle. Just absolutely excruciating to fight these guys in siege. I figured Queek would be unbreakable. What the heck? It's like surrounded in warpstone. Alright, well there we go. We killed him. Queek is pretty decent in melee these days. He's not fantastic, but he's alright. already. I'm trying to see what people are talking about here. Who do you think will end up being mercenary faction? Well, it's definitely ogres, but it is possible they could do like a Dogs of War thing. But the ogres, I think, are going to stay in that mercenary role, even in Game 3 would be my guess. Even though they're playable as a campaign. Let's take the Oath Gold from killing off Queek. That got rid of Queek's army. Excellent.
Welcome.
Yeah, even playing this now, like, I guess kind of even more reminds me, like, just how badly I'm wanting a new Warhammer. Like, Warhammer 3 can't get here soon enough. I'm so excited. We are playing the crap out of it. And even if I have to stay up late and spend a bunch of time at night, we are going to make a lot of videos for Warhammer 3. So expect thorough coverage of the game when we get there. Alright, so who needs a charge bonus? I mean, plus 25, that is a massive charge bonus. I guess we're going to put it on anybody, some of these guys. What faction has the coolest looking siege tower? Question. And the Dawi has a pretty cool one. It's like the giant statue. How does it think that Vlad is going to win? Like, have they not been watching what happens in these battles? Like, I mean... Alright, whatever. Here comes the thunder. Vlad attacked the wrong army. Even in that map flyby video from today, ogres were said to sell their services to those with deep enough pockets. Yeah, I definitely think ogres are going to maintain their kind of... Oh, crap. Yeah, this sucks. This is not what we want. I'm going to have to turn some of these units around. You don't want to end up in a grind-out fight like this with vampires. This is a very irritating deployment we're going to have to deal with.
They have wronged us. We demand
Alright, well...
most of the throng.
Leaders here. Yeah, this is a very irritating deployment that we've gotten.
Let the vengeance begin.
What are these? These are our githammer torpedoes. I'm gonna get the githammer torpedoes ready to put a little hurt on over here. Be like this. I don't want the vampires to get around my flanks and cause too much of a mess. I'm gonna put the Iron Thunders up front because they can kind of be a secondary melee, and then they should cause pretty solid damage. Let's just make sure their line of sight is all clear. It's not at the moment. I like to spread them out wider, but it screws up the line of sight for that unit. Here comes the githammer torpedoes. I'm gonna focus on the infantry though. I don't expect the githammers to do much. That's Isabella. Would have been better had I been able to shoot her. Alright, so once the githammers kind of soften these guys up a little, kind of pile on into melee. These units ought to do pretty poor against us in melee. Yeah, the Iron Thunder is going to take down those bats. Don't let those guys around me. Fortunately for me, Isabella's not going to be fantastic in melee. But I'm not going to be fantastic against her in melee either. Alright, easy, 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 get hammers. Alright, we're killing that stuff pretty convincingly. Once our Mournfang and stuff helps clean this up, we can get back in here against Isabella. And then, what happened to my... Let's bring our hero over here. Let's put some physical resistance on our Lord. And then I've got another ability that gives him resistance. Get off me, bats. Are you kidding? Gotta get the bats off of these guys real quick, and then I can go help in that fight. We're about to clean up these. So, not a great deployment, but fortunately for me, it was all light infantry coming in against us in the back, which is going to be wholly ineffective against our dwarf heavy infantry. Like, Skeletons and zombies just don't have even the slightest prayer against these heavily armored units. What is going? I can't move. There we go. Maybe it's some ability. Iron Thunders ought to shine pretty well here too. Our Githammers are really going through some ammo. But we've got our Master Engineer, so we can replenish ammo a few times here. Organ guns, cannons. Is that the vampire? There's Vlad. I'm gonna target the Cryptors with the cannon, and I think I'm gonna turn the organ guns onto that vampire that's flying over here. The guns are doing extremely well. Bring my engineer back up here. Couple of units in like a secondary position here. We're slowly but surely cutting our way through Isabella. I don't think that infantry's doing much, but I'll keep it here. Isabella can heal a lot and very quickly. So you kind of just have to put up with her. If you can't sit there and shoot her with your guns, then it is what it is. Oh man, the Iron Thunders are absolutely owning. And the Githammer torpedoes are owning as well. I'm a huge fan. A little more ammo on these Githammers. Oh, that vampire came back over here. That is an odd choice, to be certain. Let's charge here. Retarget the Githammers. It's better to have a little bit of distance between what it is you want to shoot and your Githammers. Iron Thunders ought to be extremely good against the vampires, because the vampires just don't have the AP here except for this Grave Guard. Great weapon. I've got secondary help on the way. Oh my gosh, how did I lose so many of these guys? Did we get hit with a spell? Seems unlikely. Or what's happening there? Maybe my own organ gun cut them down by accident. That very well could be the case. Okay, Githammers, just take it easy, like we're point blank range, and some of them charge our Mournfang. Yeah, I may have accidentally shot my own Mournfangs here. So they're all laying dead right here in a row, and my cannon had followed that vampire into combat, and that may very well have done it. Man, look at the Githammers just shred those blobs. They don't have a ton of kills, but they are dealing some major damage. And the Iron Thunderers did absolutely beautiful up front. Like, I'm really liking the Iron Thunderers. Alright, we're gonna finish cutting our way through. And then I'm gonna leave that. Well, let's finish the Grave Guard. Alright, easy on the Githammers because we've got our own Longbeards suffering. Probably a little friendly fire going on in this battle, but Dawi believe it would be more of a grudge if I didn't attempt to shoot the vampires. I'm sure that some of my guys are willing to die for the grudge settling. Alright, Vlad's gonna get owned. I'm gonna keep running away here so that my Iron Thunderers can keep getting shots into Vlad. It's just the easier way to kill him. Yeah, there goes the organ gun as well. Ooh, yeah, those overshots hurt. It's an interesting army composition, taking notes. Yeah, the Iron Thunderers against the vampires. They have high armor, they deal a little bit of AP damage on weapon damage, and then they also punch with the range component, so Iron Thunderers are going to be great because they're basically immune to zombies and skeletons. They'd even be decent against like standard Graveguard. They probably wouldn't be great against Graveguard with great weapons and melee, but they'd shoot them fine from a distance. They're going to help cut down Crypt Horrors and other large units. And like I said, with their armor, it's going to make them a real mess to deal with for the vampires. Vampires have very specific units that they need to use. So like Black Coach, Bargeist, Heavy Cavalry, those are the kind of units they would have to bring. Hey, Air, any estimates on when you'll be releasing your non-fungible salt? We do need like a Carthage crypto coin, huh? And whatever salt you all have here, I can like award it to you. You can be initial stakeholders in the Carthage crypto. And then the best part is it'll be a giant scam, right? We'll sell the crypto to all the Romans, and then we'll back out and take our money and leave them stuck with it, okay? So that'll be the secret. That's how we'll handle this crypto. Non-aggression pact with Kislev would be fine. I don't need to be fighting them right now. I want to keep cleaning up vampires and then be preparing for a chaos invasion. Yeah, we'll set up a good old-fashioned Carthage Ponzi scheme and pull the Romans right into it. If warfare didn't work, maybe schemes will. Skaven would approve, I'm sure. Military access? No, I don't think so. Rebellion grudge removed. Yes, 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 yes. Settle all the grudges. Settle the grudges. Alright, looks like the border princes are trying to take some of my territory or something. I don't know what they're up to there. Alright, John Captor's army really came out to shine there in that first one. We're gonna finish upgrading the Thunderers there, and then as these Thunderers gain rank, they're gonna get pretty nuts. I'm here for it. I am here for it. Alright, grudge removed. Defeat the following lords. Alright, we were moving some grudges here. Aw, man. They stole Estion from me. Darn you, Karak Kadrin. I guess I could try and... I'd like to confederate these guys, but they're not going to want any part of it. I don't think we can confederate right now because we recently confederated. So it's not an option, but maybe we can confederate them eventually. So not the end of the world, but I wanted that wine resource. Karak Dromar, let's put some defenses in here. Oh, our money just went back up too, that's good. Got access to pottery at Grinsat as well, so pottery is another one we need for the forge. We can use it to make... Is this one the Iron Warden's tankard? And we're missing the wine. Or the... What's it called? This one right here. We're missing the wide for the Old Guard's tankard. That's okay. I'll keep banking up some Oath Gold. Old Guard tankard combined with Iron Warden tankard or whatever it is. Basically, you get double heals. So your dwarf lords and heroes can get double heals, and sometimes you can like even pick up a potion and stuff too. I mean, you can get some pretty awesome heals going on for your dwarf lords, and with people like Grombrindle, it makes you utterly absurd.
If you dare.
Like absurd. I like Dermentia's army here with the Bugman's Rangers and the Mountaineers, like a whole skulking, like crouching dwarf, hidden grudge. Take out this vampire rebellion. Did Dawi even like wine? Thought they were all about ale and beer. I'm sure they are, right? But it's just, it's required. Whatever reason. Gotta have the wine. Craft this stuff up. I'm sure they are more into the beer. Let's see. Oldest holdfast. I like that. Oh, hey, speaking of, Warner, I just got an idea.
It is time.
I think we're gonna make Warner.
How can I help?
Yeah. Oh. Have to do it like this. Warner, the master handgunner. There we go. So Warner is now serving with Grombrindle as the master handgunner of the Dawi. He's got himself a Grudge Raker and a Cinder Blast shell, as well as control of the Zephyr 42-pounders. So Warner, here we are, and you're already immortal, so there's no way I can get you killed. So it's perfect. Can't die, and access to all the guns that you need. Nothing to lose now. Gromby ranked up. Lightning Strike could be good. Replenishment would also be good. I want to spend some points on replenishment because we get to go up to 60. Let's see here. We got some cash. Gotta be blasting them losers with my shotgun. Yeah. Man, speaking of shotgun, I haven't shot my shotgun in forever. I need to get out on my land and do some shooting. I finally got some extra shells. Like, it's been dang near impossible to buy shells because of the ammo shortage. But I finally got a hold of some shells not long ago at a reasonable price rather than the typical double or triple. Yeah, I need to get out and shoot some targets. I love hitting some skeet. Shotgun, it's fun. I am going to go on a bird hunt in January. I'm going to go on a pheasant hunt. It's either in the end of January or beginning of February. Mrs. Air is actually going to go with me. So yeah, we're gonna go on a pheasant hunt up in Missouri. It's going to be pretty awesome. Looking forward to it. Let's build up. Fences probably make the most sense. Fences make the senses. We got another Skaven army over here. Fecticade?
You know who I am.
I'm gonna go get in his way. Impossible. He's got a bunch of brood horrors and warp lightning cannons. That's gonna be a pain in the butt. Warp lightning cannons. That is not fun. Let's see. Alright, someone had walked in the room. I was trying to see who it was. Either Little Air or Mrs. Air. I don't know which one. Let's see. Let's go with Blade Master for now. Makes them sound like they're an elite from Halo, calling them Blade Master. Good luck hunting. Thanks. Hope it goes good. Regina says just go to the beach and pick some up. I don't see why you Americans are beating each other off to buy shells. I love it, Regina. Listen, if I could go to the beach and just start picking up handfuls of 12-gauge shells, that would be fantastic. And you know what? If the beach was also covered in handfuls of 12-gauge birdshot, then seagulls would be a lot less annoying as well. You know? The seagulls would probably avoid human beings at that point, rather than swooping in and stealing the Cheetos and sandwich straight out of your hand. Oh man. I like it, Regina. I like it. Beating each other is part of the fun. Yeah, I mean, that's the holiday spirit, right? How can you even be in the holiday spirit if you haven't gotten into a fist fight over buying something at the store, right? Oh, man. It's a grudge we must settle, that's right. Settle all the grudges. Zufbar is attacked by Morslib's Howlers. We're gonna enter on the side of the Dawi. Not to take any crap off those Howlers. It may come after some of my territory, though. And the rogue armies can be pretty insane sometimes. To keep an eye on them. So we're now at war with them. Nashrax Rare has dyes that would be helpful for us. Where was that army I was training? Oh, it's over here at Shug.
Armed and ready.
Trying to put together an army for Shug. We've got enough money now. Crookback Mountain.
Can I help you?
Got access to Iron Thunders. Kind of want to like get some Iron Thunders going on here. They can also be infantry. We'd almost need some artillery here, though. We do have access to it. It's just going to take a number of turns to recruit. Pick the Quarrelers. Go with a couple of, like, a cannon and an organ gun. That takes 4. How long would it take me to pick it up? 4 turns, so it'd be the same either way, plus it would cost me less. If I did this... So that's 3 turns, and then I could pick up 1 more Iron Thunder along the way, maybe 2. Still be 4 turns. We could grab 1 Iron Thunder from the global. Here we go, close enough. We'll at least fill that army up and be able to go fight Morslib's Howlers. Gonna eat up some more income, so we'll want to stay on the attack.
Let us begin.
Could save the halflings, right?
Onward. The axe thirsts for war.
I go save them, though. Does Vlad have an army in the wings? Let's move up and make sure he doesn't have a huge army in waiting so that when we...
Unto glory.
Could be Skaven. It is not. Alright, we're going to colonize. It's a bit risky here.
Yes.
Bit risky. There's a vampire army I can't see. We're going to end up in trouble.
My anger burns bright. Setting off.
That coffin is going to rebel. Might as well head right back up there. Like, let it rebel and then head up there and beat down the rebellion. We're going to have some pretty bad issues with vampire rebellions for a while because it takes a long time to get the vampire stank out of Sylvania and all these other lands. I mean, you can see we're getting closer over here. We're getting rid of some of it, but yeah, the stench of vampires is difficult to remove.
It is time.
Following that Skaven army. The Moot is its own settlement. I like it. I don't have the money to repair it, so we'll have to do it on the next turn. And empower the guilds at the Moot, though. Did Grimgor get wiped out? I think we have wiped him out. If not, he's like sitting on like 1 settlement somewhere. Legamus, I believe. I'm not 100% certain. Well, unfortunately, the Skaven beat us to our settlement there, so Dragonhorn Mines we're going to have to take back. Legamus, Senchibat, thanks for being channel supporters. Appreciate it. Warner, thanks for being such an awesome moderator for me. Regina, thanks for being the most asser of all of my viewers and making sure and representing the elves well. Jonathan, Nicola, my favorite Serbian. One Rio Dream, thanks for being here tonight too. Appreciate all of you. HH Ray, it's good to have you here. The Brother Hammer, thank you. Let's see. Hates Beastmen. Well, you know what? I do too. I do too. Maybe we have something in common, Orion. We both hate Beastmen and hold grudges against them. Senshi, appreciate all your prophecies. Oh boy. HH Ray just lost some salt. Alright, let's see here.
Rune Lord.
The casino was very unkind.
Armed and ready. Come off.
The coffin's still gonna rebel, so we'll put down the rebellion. We did not get counterattacked by vampires here, which is great. I don't care about Steingart because it's not part of
Ready. My axe
the
stirs
hold here. Averheim I do want, though. We're not all the way replenished, but we probably have enough to come siege out the vampires here, especially considering what this army can do to vampires. But vampires can also put together armies very quickly. If they have the right access to like a Raise the Dead. But we're going to get an auto-resolve here that's just going to let us walk right in. So that is perfect. Under new management.
Aye.
Ooh, we got access to some recruiting here as well. Not bad, not bad. We can repair the moot, so we'll start rebuilding the halflings' homeland. Vampires did nothing but eat and mistreat them.
How can I help?
Is that Marathi? It is. What in the world is Marathi doing over here? This is Mortal Empires. Am I missing something? What the heck?
I am the
But Mortal Empires or Vortex? Marathi in the Badlands?
Kazakh.
That is wacky. That is absolutely wacky. Fight this one. Must have confederated with Malice. Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. Maybe confederated with Malice and then got inserted into one of his armies in the Darklands and then ended up over here. I did not expect to see Marathi in the Badlands. She's on vacation, that's right. Darth Vegan, she's on vacation. Her skin is so frostbitten. Every now and then, just, you know, occasionally, she needs to get away. I mean, she digs the frostbite look. It's what she's into, but, you know, even Marathi has to give the skin a break every now and then.
It is a reckoning. Kill the horde splitters.
We definitely need more guns in Gromby's army.
Taking aim.
The only gun we have here is Warner. Warner carries a lot of ammunition. Look at this. He's got 8 restock abilities. So Warner does not skimp on the ammo when he marches into battle. Like, he brings all the ammo.
Take to the air.
Start the battle here.
We'll guard it. We'll guard it.
Let's start unloading on these Warp Lightning cannons. Yeah, they do have multiple Warp Lightning cannons. That's less than ideal. It's the Zephyr 42 pounders. Hopefully this will do some good damage, we'll see. Not bad. We didn't kill any units, unfortunately. We're gonna try and stand their ground and fight. I've got the Goblobber firing in here. What are they targeting, though? I hope they don't target the Goblobber because the Warp Lightning cannons would easily defeat it. I can't tell what they're targeting. Taking my gyrocopters would be risky. I think we got him to attack. About 60 seconds before I can use another Zephyr 2-pounder. Alright, that summon didn't do much. They may not be shooting the Goblobber, but they're getting awful close. Goblobber is just not landing many hits here either. It's pretty frustrating. Just start pumping some shots into Morkister's Hellion. And let's get Warner to Cinder Shell that thing as well. Hopefully it'll have the line of sight to get it done here. Oh yeah, it went way up in the air. That's wild. Didn't know it would do that. Ooh, nice. Warner, nice. I thought we could put that on. I guess not.
There's nothing I can't fix.
Let's pause this just here real quick so I can do another shot with this up our 42 pounders. Trying to beat those guys up a little. That's kind of cool how they're going to add a slow motion mode on game 3 where you can target your spells and stuff a little better without necessarily having to hit the pause button. I like that. That's a cool quality of life addition that they're going to throw in.
Dawi attack! Power of the ancestors. Dawi, move it.
Okay, Warner is shooting away over here. Got some brood horrors coming after me. That's not really what I want. Stay away, you filthy little whore. Alright, so that brood horror is gonna get wrecked. Oh man, Corler's absolutely annihilated that. Dementia, thanks for the 10 again. Holy crap. It says, when you have the chance, look up Celestial Hurricanum for the Empire, probably be coming in Warhammer 3 as far as the dumbest war chariot in the game. Well, I'm definitely going to go check it out now. You say dumbest and war chariot, and sounds good to me. Got a master assassin over here just sitting around trying to attack us. I don't imagine he would let Grombrindle come and get it. Oh, no, 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 no. Bad brood horror. Bad. You filthy giant rat. I guess I totally forgot about that flank. Alright, we got rid of another brood horror. Let's get rid of another one. I want to go fight that assassin. Warp lightning cannons are annoying as ever. Alright, so that should be the rest of the horrors. They'll be out. I defy anyone in chat to prove that claim wrong, by the way. Thanks, Termentia. Alright, if anybody knows anything about the Hurricanum, Celestial Hurricanum, I think I've seen that miniature before. Could be wrong. Is it part of Age of Sigmar still? Like with the Cities of Sigmar? I just sworn I've seen it before. Thank you, Dementia. You are far too kind. Y'all have been absolutely nuts on these streams recently. Like, so much support. Thank you very much. Definitely appreciate it. Let's see. Thanks for subbing. I can't pronounce the name. It's like Cyrillic characters or something. I don't know how to pronounce it, but thank you for subbing. Let's see. Occupy the Dragonhorn mine. Picked up a Dawnstone. That's pretty slick.
I am the White Dwarf.
15% resistance. Take that. Alright. The White Dwarf. Let's get some upgrading done. Yeah, we want to replenish really quick. Ideally. Alright, Warner is getting a ton of skill points here. That's fantastic. Let's go Specialist. Grombrindle, the over-caffeinated. Love that weird dwarves energy. Yeah, thanks, Trantor, and thanks for being a channel supporter for so long. Appreciate you being here tonight. Yeah, Grombrindle is my favorite. Well, I mean, it's tough. Thorek is really good, too. I think I still like Grombrindle just because he makes his infantry so bonkers. But Thorek was a nice addition. Like, he's another dwarf warrior that's kind of worthy. You know, actually being good. Warner's getting good, that's right. Hey, let's check out that campaign flyover video real quick while we're here. Since everybody who's gonna be here is here, basically. We turn on... Need to open it up real quick. Give me just a second. Go take a look at it. Campaign fly through. Here it is. Okay, let me get my display capture switched on. All right.
Beyond Reichland, Ostermark, and the reach of the Empire stands a frozen bulwark. Kislev, a fractured kingdom besieged from within and without by enemies of ideology and chaos. Tsarina Katerin, daughter of Tsar Boris the Beloved, rules from the peaks of the Boka Palace in the city of Kislev. The Ice Queen must lean heavily on her ice court if she means to bring order and security to these turbulent lands.
Yeah, so you can kind of see where Kislev is laid out here. Drink Bugmans and
But
shoot
there are those who
orcs.
do
Yeah,
not
we will.
approve of Katerin's reign and would
Yeah,
sooner
see?
see themselves in power.
This is the part I'm talking about. So, like, the patriarch dude, so is he at war with Tsarina Katerin? Or are they just, like, competing for certain favor or something? You know what I mean? Like, I'm curious which one it is. I have no idea.
From Castle Alexandrinov, stronghold of the Great Orthodoxy.
One Rio Dream says the new
and seat
city
of
models
Supreme
look good. I
Patriarch.
agree. They look nice. Like, they've changed the way some of them look, and the campaign map looks very beautiful. It looks very nice.
Kostaltin, that the Tsarina faces the most immediate threat to her rule. These two Kislevite figureheads vie for the people's devotion, so they might employ powerful boons from their pantheon of gods.
Something else I noticed, like, so see how there's like multiple dudes standing here, and usually that's like an agent or an army. Is this multiple armies where they've just set this up and taken the flags off just to get some cinematics? Or are we looking at something new here? Like, I don't think it would be a huge change, but like, are they doing something new or different? The way things look on the campaign map, or did they do this for the sake of cinematics? Some part of me think it's probably just cinematics, but I'm curious. Dementia says they're not at war, but they're super close to it. Shadow of war situation. They can't actually fight because they agree they need to fight chaos first. That would make sense, and I would hope that's the way it is.
Of the North, a title earned through blood, corruption, and endless siege. A dying, tainted beast thrashing against the inevitability of
There's
its
Prague,
fate.
the cursed city. See a bloodthirster flying in the background there. Warner's thinking it's just a cinematic thing. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Far from Kislev's
Like they just stuck the stuff on here just for, looking cool.
Here, ogres and other merciless beasts make their home, though none more awe-inspiring.
Good old Streltsy, that's right, Warner.
Mouth volcano, from which magic-wielding ogres known as firebellies draw their considerable power.
Daniel says Prague should be able to build a special golem unit. Huh? Is that something from lore? Because that sounds cool. Maybe lords and heroes standing together. Yeah, I mean, it could have been that, Kirk. Like, they might have just been kind of tricking things so that they could make it look more cinematic. Like with that giant walking around right there, for instance. They probably just set this up as something cinematic.
Winding ivory road, the Great Hall of Greasus can be smelt before seen.
There's big Greasy.
Greasus Goldtooth, the Over-Tyrant, counts his riches and gorges on the spoils of his bountiful greed.
Look up the Golem of
all the
Prague,
while
okay.
accepting mercenary contracts from anyone with deep enough pockets.
Yeah, so right there is what Warner mentioned earlier. Basically, the ogres are still going to be mercenaries as well.
Further east, straddling the border between the mountains of Morn and Grand Cathay, is the narrow Worm Pass. Though far from home, Scrag the Slaughterer.
Dementia says I want to see rogue giants walking around the mountains. Just 6 to 8 giants chilling. That would be kind of cool. Like if it was like a what do you call it? Rogue army. That'd be pretty neat.
Feed the beast in exchange for sinister rewards.
So we get to see a little bit here. So yeah, north and east is going to be Cathay.
Bordering these terrible mountains are the isolated lands of Grand Cathay. Past the Warpstone Desert in the heart of the wastelands of Jinshin, Zhao Ming defends Hanyu Port from brazen ogres and burrowing Skaven. It is the duty of the dragon siblings to maintain the harmony between yin and yang. Doing so will ensure
They flew over the Chaos Dwarves? What? Really? Where would they be at? Let's go back. Where would the Chaos Dwarves be? Bone Road. At the Gunpowder Road, Warpstone Desert, Datha.
Burrowing Skaven.
Gash Kidrak. Interesting. I definitely feel like we're gonna see them in Game 3. I feel like Creative Assembly is just going to throw the book at it. I'd still love for us to get one more faction at least. More than one would be totally fine. But like an Araby, an End, a Nippon, I would love to see one of them brought in. I'm certain we won't get all of them, but even just one would be exciting.
On the most eastern edge of Grand Cathay is the capital city of the Celestial Loyalists, Wei Jin, above which hangs the Celestial City, home of the Dragon Emperor.
Alright, so this is the one Dermentia was saying it looks too narrow. Did they get their permits?
Jin Compass. The Dragon Emperor's children can carve out Cathay's fate, economic powerhouse or machine of war. The compass decides.
I love this big wall, though. It is pretty narrow.
Snakes and weaves across miles of country, physically separating Grand Cathay from the chaos wastes beyond. For centuries has this wall stood firm.
Charles says, how the heck did you spread your cold over the net? Dang stuff has me sniffling like a bloodhound. And that sinus stuff I had, like I wasn't real sick, but it crapped out my voice and had junk running down my throat for like 2 weeks straight. It was a mess.
From here, the Storm Dragon
Hope you get better soon, Charles.
Provinces and garrisons the Great Bastion. To fund such a task, she dispatches caravans along the Ivory Road, trading with distant
See, Dermentia, thanks for another 5. Absolutely insane, man. He says, Cathay has the Skaven to the west, Ogres to the south, Chaos to the north, Vampire Ninjas, or Ninja Vampires, and Nippon to the east. Yeah, they need to bring in Nippon. That would be absolutely awesome. Thanks, Dermentia. Appreciate it. Yeah, Cathay does have an interesting position. I just mentioned, like, I hate fighting against Skaven. They're gonna have to fight against Skaven and Chaos a lot. But it looks like they have access to kind of like a safe zone if they protect it well, where they can get a ton of resources and stuff. So anyway, that's the campaign Flyover. You know, it wasn't mind-boggling with the amount of information, but it wasn't bad. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of or a fan at all, I should say, of the over-dramatic voiceovers that they do in those things, but we got to see a little bit. Like, we now know where Kislev, Cathay, and Ogres are going to play in. Hopefully we'll get another video soon where we can see where Chaos plays into it, but it's exciting. Like I said, as much as the news cycle feels like a bulldozer running me over and I just can't possibly keep up with it, like I said, that said, I'm still very excited. Like, still very much excited for Warhammer 3, and I can't wait to play it. It's going to be a lot of fun. It is going to be a lot of fun. CA has just gotten better and better with the content in Warhammer 2. And I feel like there's almost no way they're not going to knock it out of the park, Warhammer 3, so I am very much looking forward to it. Still replenishing at the Moot. Another Vampire Rebellion back here, of course. I'm hoping that Ungrim and his Slayer spam... I mean, this is a very appropriate army for Ungrim right here. Hoping he'll take it out, maybe.
Armed and ready.
Western Badlands back under our control. Averland under our control. Go ahead and rebuild the Dragonhorn mine. Essen. Got a rebellion coming there. That's fine. We're in position to fight it. Map icons sort of look like Shogun 1. I'm trying to remember which ones you're talking about, Senshi. I haven't seen Shogun 1 in so long. Well, I remember playing that years ago. There's probably, like, I don't remember when that game came out, but I know it was like the early 2000s. I got to play it on my computer when it was right before I left was it early 2000s or late 90s? I don't remember. I don't remember when that game released, like what year, but I remember playing it on my parents' computer before I had moved out of my house. Like, so it was prior to graduating high school when I got to play Shogun 1. Man, it was insane, like, just seeing something like that. It was absolutely nuts. If it was prior to me moving out of the house, it would have been right before I graduated high school, if it was after 2000. Let's see. Non-aggression pact. You know what? Sure. We are strength rank 1. June 2000, according to Google. Yeah, and I would have played it about a year before I graduated high school. My friend had it, and back then, you know, of course, everything was just on a CD, so he handed me the CD, and I took it home for the weekend and installed it on my computer and played it, you know, and then, of course, gave it back to him. Like, you could let your friends borrow games. Yes. Something that I'm sure would make the people who run the microtransaction stores absolutely lose their mind right now.
Lord of Clan Morgrim. Somni!
Alright, let's use Dawi Trooper Wheeler. Wreck these guys. Pact with the pointy ears, that's a grudging. Hey, the pact with the pointy ears is just, you know, it's for their own good. Right? It's still all about Dawi supremacy here, okay? It's still all about Dawi supremacy. Don't be fooled. This is just because it's for our good. John Captor is mostly healed up. It depends on what we'd run into at Wurtbad. I'm gonna kind of take a look here. Fuzzy Wuzzy, thanks for the 5. He says, I wanted to tell a construction joke for you fine folk, but I don't have the material. Oh man. You all help me appreciate Fuzzy in the chat for always bringing the appropriate dad humor. I appreciate it. Someone has to be brave enough to tell these jokes. Thank you, Fuzzy. Thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for the 5. It is great to have you. Oh, another one we can just walk into. Fantastic. I don't know what happened to the vampires' armies, but suddenly they don't have any. Like, I mean, we couldn't kill enough vampires a bunch of turns ago, and now we can't even find one. Oh, we got wine, too. Perfect. Get hammered torpedoes. I don't need that building right now, though, so I'm going to put in some defenses and some growth. Still replenishing at the moot. Moot's still being rebuilt, period. Dad-tastic joke. Yeah, that's right. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, did we finish? I bet that's where our income went up, because we finished the Brightstone mine. Back towards the beginning of the episode, our income shot up with the Brightstone mine. A Shug's army is almost ready to rock and roll. It looks like Morslib's Howlers, well, I don't think they did lose any territory, actually. So we'll get up there and fight them with Shug. This is so weird. Like, Marathi's rolling around here. Malice is rolling through here. It's so tempting to attack her and kill her while she's here. Just because we can. But then I'd end up at war with, you know, who knows how many stacks. Yes, I mean, see, they control this. So Cult of Pleasure did confederate. Is Imric at war with them? He is. Ah, heck, I'm doing it.
No one does it better.
I'm doing it. It's a grudge to walk through my lands. Right, I gave them a war coordination target here. Dread Rock. What up, Mom Rathy? Vacation's over.
How can I help?
Vacation's over, Marathi. Imric looking mighty. Oh, I mean, look at this auto-resolve. They don't give Marathi any credit. Well, I'm going to give her the honor of dying in person to Grombrindle's army. Feel like she's earned that much. James Malice likes to take a walkabout. Go from Dragon Isles to Ulthuan all the time. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what they're up to. Probably because, I mean, you would think that they would have gone over and tried to attack Emmerich, but I don't know. If Emmerich's got all his dragons, then again, I don't blame him for not wanting to attack Emmerich. When that dude gets all his dragons, it gets real. It's real crazy, that is.
Dwarf warriors for the ancestor gods.
There we go.
Dwarf warriors.
Warner, gotta head out for the night. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you, Warner. The master of handguns.
Warriors. HeirofCarthage.
Let's see.
Undead approved.
Speaking of Warner, here he is.
For the ancestors. Iron dregs. Shine like
If we can get our...
time for ale.
if we can get this flamethrowers in range of the witch elves, it'll be very, very effective. Alberto says, I hadn't realized this was live till I tried to skip forward. Well, now you know. We is live. Alright, we are going to have to focus out Mom with our quarrelers.
Strike out.
Brookie Mom.
Up those dwarven legs. We stay put. We'll guard it. Throne created. The rune's claw.
Let's hit the witch elves. Surely they're not going to stand still and take this. Okay, there they started moving again. Did I get away with this? I'm gonna try it. Yep, we sure did get away with it. Wow. Take that, witch elves. I don't know what they're thinking, standing still taking this artillery bombardment. It's not much of a bombardment, but still, like, definitely don't want to be sitting still. Got the Goblobber working on you, and Warner's got 8 ammo recharges. Till HeirofCarth steals the dragons? Yeah, that would work. Hey, Jonas Neath, thanks for stopping by. What games are you playing these days? Remember the good old days in Shogun 2? You playing Age of Empires? Oh, that's a pretty good competitive strategy game right now.
Range far. Range fast. Charge. Gods. Bandbreakers.
Bottle up a little more, get a little more protective.
What now?
Alright. Rathi is nearly in range. She's got her Beastmare Master rolling in there.
Dawi, attack.
I'll back up behind the lines here, I don't want any of that.
Dogs are cast.
Ooh, Doom Bolts. Got the Rune of Slowing. Oh, Marathi's gonna get absolutely eaten alive because I've got the Rune of Slowness on her. She's got hit with the flamethrowers as well. Alright, we got the turrets coming in behind me. We got Marathi. I'm gonna try and get rid of these Doomfire Warlocks. Doomfire Warlocks are not great against dwarves because they have magic attacks, but I mean they can still get some work done. You don't want to underestimate them.
Fly.
Warner's getting surrounded by witch elves, so let's give him a hand here.
Yes, Lord. Moving out. Right on.
All right. Got rid of the Doomfire Warlocks.
Warriors.
Our Zephyr 42 pounders back.
For the High King.
Get them in here.
Hit them. Kill Lurks.
Let's go and kill those crossbow riders.
Slay everything without your beard. Move to attack.
All right. I think we're good.
For the ancestors.
Pretty well got this under control.
It is an order.
rip through those witch elves. Witch elves are not going to be great against dwarves. They do have a bonus versus infantry, but they're not particularly armor piercing, and that is going to be a big problem for them. Alright, so Marathi got owned. Would love to play Age of Empires with you someday if I actually catch you. Yeah, I mean, I like both the Age of Empires. Well, I say both of them. I like Age of Empires 4 is pretty fun. I think I still like Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition just a little better. But I can see where Age of Empires 4 is more compelling for people coming in from a more competitive scene. But just on more of a social scene, I like Age of Empires 3 better. But yeah, both of them are fun. I like playing them, and we'll probably do a stream on them every now and then. We do some more battles with the folks here in the community. Lunaria says Age of Empires 2 is the best. I'm sure a lot of people think that. I don't technically agree, but hey, I mean, I just got to list my favorites, so you should get to list yours too. So, Age of Empires 2 was definitely a solid entry into it, but I guess I just like that time period with Age of Empires 3. Nothing wrong with Age of Empires 2. It's a great game. Especially since they have those definitive editions out there. I mean, you really can't go wrong. He says 3 was a thing, I guess.
How can I help?
Throwing that shade at it. I like it. Hey, it doesn't have to be for everybody. Tis okay. Q says, how did you first get Age of Empires 2? A lot of people got it free in a cereal box. You know, I don't remember how I first got it. I just know that I had played Age of Empires 1 a whole bunch. Oh man, I didn't see we were going to lose these guys. That's okay. We needed to go do some more recruiting anyway. Whatever. We got rid of Malice Darkblade as well. So it killed off the Druki in our lands.
You know who I am.
Druki be dead.
The dwarfs need me.
Get some recruiting done. But yeah, I don't think I got it on a sample disc. I probably just bought it. But if they were giving it out in a cereal box, man, then that's probably one of the best deals on cereal that you could have ever gotten. That game was definitely too good for a cereal box. Let's see here. Let's get relentless. Axelord. Granny bought AoE 2 for me and the Conquerors as well when that released. Yeah. Didn't she just, like, DLC back in the day was exciting, right? It wasn't always, like, it had to be on a disc and you'd have to go buy it at the store. It was pretty exciting. And that was, like, the only time the game got patched, is if you went and bought the DLC. Remember back when games, like, actually had to be finished to be released? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there's niceties to having, you know, high-speed internet, being able to patch games sooner, but I'm just saying there was also niceties to the fact that a company had to actually finish a game before they could release it. Isn't DLC if it's on a disc? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it was just expansion would be what they called it. But yeah, it can't be downloadable if it's on the disc. Expansions, I guess, what they would have called it. My friend had Age of Empires 2: The Conquerors, so I got it by borrowing it from him. Yeah, I borrowed. Dude, we traded games all the time when I was in high school. Like, we would trade games for everything. We trade Nintendo games, Super Nintendo games, N64 games. We'd trade computer. Like, you were always trading games. And, I mean, heck, you could even go down, like, not with computer games, but you could go down to the video store and you could rent, you know, like, Nintendo games and PlayStation games and stuff like that. You were always trading games with your friends. That was one way you could get a hold of more games without spending as much money. Jam says, like, Operation Rolling Thunder. Yep, Operation Dawi Thunder. Operation Dawi Thunder. Dementia, thanks for yet another 5. He says, speaking of games, Space Marine 2. I never played the first one, but I have a ton of people in my community who have already expressed a lot of excitement for it. I'm not terribly familiar with it. But, I mean, if that many people in my community are excited for it, I'll go check it out. Like, I'm not afraid to go check out something new. So I'll probably definitely check it out, and maybe we can stream it sometime whenever it releases. When does it come out? By the way, I don't know when it comes out. Shug is still recruiting. One more turn, and then we gotta head north, because Mount Gunbad is actually gonna come under attack, but it's pretty well defended. Fortunately for me. I tried Armies of Exego. I have not. I'm not familiar with that game, or even what kind of game it is.
For the wisdom of Valea.
Yeah, not familiar with that one. Jonas Nee said I could rent games at public libraries when I grew up. Rarely did it, though. I don't know if I ever saw a library near me that had games, but I guess it would make sense because, I mean, some people could say, well, why would a library have a video game? You know, aren't they supposed to? I mean, they have books, like recreational books. A video game wouldn't be that different, would it? They had media back in the day, too. A lot of libraries did, like, you know, DVDs or VHS tapes and stuff like that. He says it's an RTS that's almost a mix of Warcraft 3 and StarCraft. Interesting.
Your reach grows yet
I do like
further,
RTS
great
games,
lord.
especially ones
Your
that are well
endless
made.
Victories are changing the very fate.
Got a rebellion, and that will bring a rebellion grudge with it. The Rib Peaks. Greenskin Rebellion. Oh, we're about to get Skaven Plague sitting in this city anyway. Let's move up here to Mount Gunbad with Shug. Gromby protected the Badlands. We need to head back to the Silver Road with Gromby and get him some good troops. Got a ton of money, but we can't build the throne hall because we're not ready to go up to tier 5 yet. Need a little more population surplus. Daniel says the video rental place my family went to definitely also had video games. Yeah, that's where I got most of mine from too. Jeff says, I rent PS4 and Switch games from my local library. What? Your library has PS4 and Switch games? Dude, that's pretty sick. That's awesome. That's a library who got it right, folks. They see what's important. Actually, I don't know if I want to build that. Can you just see yourself like telling your mom, like, hey mom, we need to go to the library. She's like, what? Games again? And you're like, yes. It's in the library, you know. If it's in the library, it must be good.
Yes.
Just how it works. I've been told by reliable sources that the library is a good place for us.
Armed and ready.
Live Air, thanks for joining us, Ted. Jonathan says, really like the more stylized look of the map. Yeah.
I suppose so.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice. Alright, can I finally go south with this army? I don't want to be up here anymore. I don't want to stay at Beckhoffen. Alright, I think we're ready to end another one. Library, but for everything, yeah. Nobunaga's Ambition, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Liberty or Death, PTO. It's good stuff. Tool library? What? Daniel says there's places that have tool libraries, like for woodworking. That is awesome. Tools are bloody expensive. And sometimes you just need them for a little while, too. That's pretty neat. Yeah, trust me, I know I've had to buy some tools. Like I had to get a chainsaw because I need it for my oh my goodness, yep, here's that legendary Chaos Invasion beginning.
I think not.
Look at the armies of Chaos lining up, I love it. Just march right down to the guns, friends. Need some Githammer torpedoes and some Iron Thunders and Dawi Trooper Wheeler's army.
Onward.
Just march straight down the barrel, Chaos.
Let us begin. To war. Summon me if you
I think we're probably
dare.
ready to move to Flensburg.
My axe thirsts for war. Let us begin.
Let's keep the pressure up here on the vampires. We've beaten them back almost all the way to Altdorf. Ardek says, I love my local library before they folded. Yeah, that stinks that the library went under. That's too bad. Our library here seems to be doing really well. Mrs. Air loves to take the boys down there. They love going. They always come back with like all these books. Like both of them love any book that explains like animals or like space. Stuff like that. Every time they come home, they're like excited. Charles says, how's the miniatures coming along? They're coming along good. The last work I got to do was around Thanksgiving. I've just been too busy to get any painting done, but coming up soon, I'm going to be having some time for Christmas, and I will finally get to be doing some more work on my miniatures. I'm almost done with my Stormcast sets. Then I'm going to get a Skink set and start working on it for Mrs. Air so that I can actually learn how to play the tabletop game with her. So it'll be my first time trying to actually play a tabletop game of Warhammer. I'm pretty excited for it. Got a long ways to go. Still a lot of work to do, but you know, it's coming along. Fashion courtesy of the MSI Design House. It is indeed, Senshi. I got on my MSI fanboy stuff today. I wish I still had an active sponsorship from them. I hate it, but you know, they changed the way they wanted to do a few things. It wasn't like they said, hey, you're no good, get out of here. They didn't do that. In fact, they left their contacts open. I still have contacts there. I just haven't really bothered them. Like, I'm sure if I asked them to send me some things or do a video here and there, they'd probably do it with me, but I haven't done a lot of computer building videos because, I mean, almost no one can build a computer right now because you can't bloody get the parts. And they're really expensive. Like, so they're a bit, I mean, yeah, MSI, like, totally left it open. They basically said, hey, if we're gonna do stuff together, like, they didn't do, like, a fixed thing where they were sending me projects. It was more of, like, if I had a project, I could propose it to them. And I just haven't done it because it just doesn't seem relevant right now because, I mean, almost no one can build a computer. So, like, if I'm out here, for instance, asking them, help me get a hold of computer parts, and no one can get a GPU, just pretty much the case. A lot of good it does, right? I mean, can't build a gaming computer very well without a graphics card. So I haven't seen a whole lot of point of staying after it. Hopefully I'll get to, again, one day.
Summon me if you dare.
Like, I thought about reaching out to him, for instance, for like a Christmas video or something, like see if they wanted me to show anything for Christmas, but again, I'm not saying people won't get some computer parts, but I mean, when you can't buy a graphics card, especially not at a reasonable price, it's not very exciting, like, to get into computer building. One Rio Dream says, yeah, upgrading my system seems to be indefinitely on hold. Yeah, it's a mess right now. It's expensive. It is absolutely expensive. And even if you have the money, it's still difficult to find what you're looking for a lot of times. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, I used MSI stuff before I ever got the sponsorship with them, which is why it was so cool whenever I did, you know, have that active, you know, contract going with them, because it was like, oh, cool, I've been using their stuff, and now I get to, like, actually do the stuff with them. So that's another reason why I did it, was because I felt like it was, you know, it was good for me, and it was something that I could recommend. Like, 'cause I get emails all the time from people like, hey, you know, hey, we'll pay you if you advertise this mobile game on your channel, and I'm like, yeah, no. Or like, hey, we'll pay you to advertise Ridge Wallet or whatever it is, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, sure, it's kind of a cool wallet, but I just, like, I'm not gonna use it, like, so I'm not gonna go recommend it. So I don't know, like, I have a hard time advertising. Like, so for instance, some of the only stuff I've taken was from MSI, and then Paradox did some paid videos with me, but I like Paradox games and I can recommend those to you all. So again, that was the reason why I jumped in and did it with Paradox, because it's like, yep, this is something that makes sense on my channel. This is something I can recommend. Like, I don't mind advertising. Like, I understand it's part of the game, like, if you're gonna be a YouTuber, but at the same time, like, it at least needs to be relevant. Now, if I was a full-time YouTuber, which I am not, and my family's income depended on me, you know, making steady money, I'd probably advertise just about anything, you know, that people offered. just so I could try and get moored. But I have a great primary income stream at my day job, and so it's not necessary for me to pester you all with, you know, Raid Shadow Legends or something, you know, just because I want some extra cash on the side. Like, it's just not necessary. So I'm not going to do it. You know, I don't want that to be the annoying thing where it's like, hey, let's play some Dawi Thunder right after I show you this game that I totally don't like, but I'm going to say I do just so that I can, you know, pick up a few $100s or whatever it is that they would pay. You know, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Yeah, Manscaped, exactly. Yeah, the Manscaped people have sent stuff too, and I'm like, I am definitely not getting on my videos and talking about shaving my junk. Like, I mean, come on. Like, that's a... No one wants to hear it. No one wants to discuss it. So it's like, I understand that that's your product, but this is probably not the place to advertise it. Daniel says, glad you keep it honest. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to be sensible about it, really, right? If I really needed the money, I would do it. It's no big deal, right? That's just how things work. Like, people got to do what they got to do to make the money they need. I just don't. Like, I just don't have a big need of the money, and so no reason to pester you all. I'm fortunate, and so just be happy about being fortunate to not need it. Charles says, agreed. At least we know if you do add something, it would be worth it. Yeah, I mean, again, worth it is in the eye of the beholder, but I get where you're going, which is it's at least something that I myself would take part in, right? So it may not mean it's worth it for you, but at least if you see it on my channel, you know that it's something that I would use myself. So
You will answer for this insult.
Legend advertises it. Yeah, I'm sure he does. Like I said, Legend does this full time, right? That's how he's gonna make his money. And if you're, I mean, so like think about some of the benefits that I get from having a full-time job. I have insurance, I've got a retirement plan, I've got stock options. Like I get all these things at my day job, and if I were ever gonna make up for that as a YouTuber, well, you'd have to really get a lot. You know what I mean? Like, because insurance costs a lot more whenever you're paying for your own rather than being at a, you know, corporation that's paying for it. And then, you know, retirement plan, you'd have to do all on your own. I get matching in my retirement account, like up to a certain percentage of my income that I, you know, put into my retirement. So that kind of stuff would have to be taken care of all on your own. Like, so, I mean, if I was a full-time YouTuber, like Legend is, yeah, I mean, I'd be doing that stuff. I mean, you got to make the money. You got to put food on the table. You got to put a roof over your head. That's what you got to do. But fortunately for me, that's what my day job does, right? So it's not necessary for me to take care of that here with you all. And again, that's a fortunate thing. I wish I could be full-time sometimes because I love doing this and I'd love to make more videos for you all. I feel like I don't get to make enough. But, you know, I'm glad. I'm really fortunate to have what I have. Jonathan says, holy crap, stock options, Air's a real adult. I'm fortunate. I went and got a degree in engineering. It opened a lot of doors to me. I started at Walmart. I just said who I work for. I try and keep my company out of it. Yeah, I work at a large retailer's corporate office. You all just heard me say it. I'm in like middle management, right? I'm not like way up there or something else like that. And so it's a job I've been doing for a long time. Unfortunately, you know, I had some great bosses who invested in me early. Gave me some opportunities to promote into this kind of middle management position. I don't want to promote up anymore because I have enough to do and enough to keep busy with. I know I've said it before, Jonas Nee. I just try and keep it separate. That way, like if I ever said anything, my company can't say that I'm pulling them into my own personal stuff here. But yeah, I'm lucky, right? The company has great benefits, and that's why I've stuck with them. I've been with them for like 11 or 12 years, and I've got a good boss right now that I really like. So. But yeah, making up for that on YouTube would be very difficult. I would have to be getting a lot of views, more than I've ever had. Like, I think at my peak, I was getting a couple million views a month, and I would have to get quite a bit more than that to ever try and outdo my day job in terms of income. It would have to be a lot. And then the other problem with YouTube is that the income is highly dependent on the time of year, and just also highly dependent on what advertisers are paying. And, you know, in January, you get paid crap. In November, December, you get paid quite a bit, you know, per view. There's a lot of factors that go in. And so the only way that you won't have a steady income unless you were taking a bunch of advertising contracts to help make up for it. And you'd have to be a pretty big channel to get that many like advertising contracts. Dementia says engineers make bank, especially if they're good. Yeah, I mean, engineers make, like, they're one of the highest paid bachelor's degrees in our country, at least. It's an excellent degree to have. I don't regret it at all. I got a mechanical engineering degree. Industrial engineering, mechanical, civil, heck, any of them all make really good money without having to go back for a master's. And it is very nice. Yeah, I've never had to go back and worry about a master's degree, and I've been able to make good money. And then the great thing is like, even though my company is retail focused, they still value engineers very highly. Mostly just because you can problem solve and figure stuff out and help them make their business run more lean and stuff like that. So it's been really fun, and it's neat to have, you know, a company that values you. And but the cool thing about working in the retail industry is that my company is huge. It has a ton of opportunities for me to grow and basically have multiple careers within a career. Whereas if I had stuck just to engineering, like a very technical form of engineering, while that would have been cool and I would have gotten to design neat stuff, it would have maybe, you know, bottlenecked some of my ability to grow career-wise. In terms of, you know, like, I can promote into leadership positions. I can work on a supply chain team. I can work on a merchandising team. I can work on, you know, just about anything in my company. Like, so it's pretty neat, and I'm very fortunate. I'm glad to have it. My company invested a lot in me, taught me a lot, and so I don't mind investing it back. Hopefully, I continue to feel a mutual happiness there. Because this many years in, I certainly would not like to start my career all over again. It's a pretty big bad army here. Thane over here start beating up on this Vargulf a little. Targeting that corpse cart. Vargulfs have a lot of mass, and they can punch through your lines. Bit of a dangerous situation here. Try and swing in here. I'm gonna pull back a little bit with my Bugmans. We're still shredding this Vargulf here. These guys have not leveled up and been upgraded as much as my other army, so I'm gonna take them a little more work. Cut their way through some of these units, because they're just not as upgraded yet. They're gonna get there. They're not there yet. I'm pretty impressed with Dementia 2.0 though. He's somehow not dying. Manfred and this Terrorgeist, at least not terribly quickly. Not a fight I think he'll win in melee, but it's an impressive showing. I'm losing my Longbeards. Fortunately, Longbeards can't terror route. Our cannons are finishing off the corpse cart. Kill that Vargulf. I'm gonna bring some extra Slayers over this way. Alright, that Vargulf is out. It's very near it. We just need one more volley there. Come on, get him. Alright, he's out. I'm gonna target Manfred. Everything I got. This is why I brought the Slayers over, because I kind of figured this would happen. That Terrorgeist has taken an interest in me. So when he dives down, I'm going to chew him up with Slayers. Yeah, if any of you all have ever thought about being an engineer, you have the opportunity, take it. It's an excellent career field. And I am very grateful I got the opportunity to do it. It was hard crap in school. Like, I had to do a ton of calculus and physics and other stuff like that, but it is worth it. It was hard, but it was worth it. Like I said, if any of you have thought about it, I can't recommend it enough if you get the opportunity. It's really cool, and there's a lot of different fields for it too. You got industrial engineers, which is kind of like what I do for my retail company. You're focused on like people and processes, like how to maximize efficiency in people and processes. And you know, I do a little bit of data analytics and stuff like that. And then you've got mechanical engineers, which is what I went to school for. You know, working on all kinds of industrial systems, engines. Mechanical systems and aircraft, automobiles, you name it, golf clubs, boats. Mechanical engineers can do a lot of stuff. And you got civil engineers, you know, working on the infrastructure of your city, state, and town, which is always cool stuff. So roads, bridges, sewer systems, drainage systems, walls, all that kind of stuff. Chemical engineering is really cool. They even have biomedical engineering these days, which is a pretty awesome field that's looking into, you know, like using kind of mixing engineering and medicine. So for like prosthetics and other cool stuff. And then you've got, what did I say, chemical engineering? Yeah, software engineering is also a really good one. Very different from what I do. But holy crap, man. If you know how to code software, be a software engineer, computer scientist, those are also in extremely high demand. Like at my company and a lot of others, like, I don't think you're ever going to be out of work if you learn how to do that kind of stuff. So definitely another good one to look at if you're interested in. We're on the side of Ally, yeah. Let's see here. Let's keep with Grimnir's strength. Dementia, you're too kind, sir. Another 5, he says. Here's money because I think Ronald himself was blessing me. Oh, Ronald. Sorry, I said Ronald. Thank you, Dementia. Appreciate the insane support. Yeah, it's, I'm lucky. I mean, I worked for it, but there's also a degree of, you know, like luck and other stuff that's going to play in because, like I said, sometimes you need the right people in the right place to be there to help you, and I had that, and I'm grateful for it. I was fortunate. And like I said, I had great bosses and people to help guide me, good professors, a lot of help. Oh man, this looks like it's an easy auto-resolve. I'm gonna go ahead and take it. So that way we can get rid of this army and complete. I did want to be an aerospace engineer, Legamus. That was my original intention, because I wanted to be a pilot for the Air Force. I wanted to fly fighter planes. I thought that was going to be awesome. My dad was in the military. My 2 older brothers were in the military. I wanted to be in the military. I wanted to go be a fighter pilot. And when I was like 16 or 17, I started talking to a liaison officer at the Air Force Academy because I wanted to fly. And he was very blunt with me. It was the very first time I had talked to him. And he was like, he asked me about my eyesight. And this was, you know, a long time ago, obviously, because I was 17 years old. No longer. That was about 20 years ago. So he asked me about my eyesight, and I was like, no, I don't have 20/20. And he's like, you'll never fly. He's like, don't waste your time. He's like, if you still want to come here, that's fine. Here's what you got to do from an ACT standpoint. He's like, but you'll never fly. And I was like, wow, okay, well, guess that dream's over. And so I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, you know, if I go be an aerospace engineer, I can design these aircraft. I can work for these companies, you know, design stuff for the Defense Department, like work for Lockheed, or, you know, Northrop, or, you know, Boeing, or one of these other companies, Pratt and Whitney, like all these cool companies. But, you know, the closer I got to that, like, there was a whole lot of layoffs going on those companies. They were changing their contracts all the time, and engineers were kind of just like, you'd be hired for a few years and then fired and move on to another one. And I was just like, that doesn't sound right for me. Like, I don't want that. So I started looking into other options. So mechanical engineering, you could still work in the aerospace industry as a mechanical engineer, but it gave me a whole lot more flexibility. And then sure enough, it ended up being the right choice for me, because, you know, again, I could have worked in that industry, but it opened these other doors for me that ended up being very good. It used to be that way, Lunaria. He's asking perfect eyesight or no-go for the Air Force. It used to be that way. I don't know if it still is. It might be. It might still be that way. I mean, if you're going to have jets that cost that many billions of dollars, and you're going to train someone with all those hours of training, you can afford to ask for the best, and only the best. So I have no idea whether it's still that way, but I know it was whenever I was looking at it. The guy just straight up told me, he's like, ain't gonna happen.
back.
It's like, not happening.
Summon me if you dare.
But I appreciated his honesty.
As the High King commands.
Saved me the time. Not wasting time. Whenever I was finishing school, I had an offer from the Navy to join their civil engineering corps,
Summon me if
which
you
was pretty exciting. I didn't end up doing it. I was very close. I was just about to sign on it whenever the current career path I have unfolded unexpectedly in front of me, and I was like, yeah, I can't say no to this. And it was funny because the senior chief petty officer who was recruiting me, he was like, all right, he's like, I understand why you made the decision you did. He's like, obviously, we're disappointed, we wanted to have you. He's like, but tell you what, he's like, you saved me a job for when I retired from the Navy. And I was like, yes, sir.
How can I help?
But yeah, he was an awesome guy.
Fearless and unbreakable.
Senior Chief Harpel, I remember him. He was fantastic. I'm sure I would have learned a great many awesome things had I gotten to be a part of the Navy. It would have been quite the experience.
My anger burns bright.
Oh,
Out of here. Lord of Clan Morgrim, Master of Runecraft.
Like it says I want to be an archaeologist in high school. Hey man, I tell you what though, even if you haven't seen the Indiana Jones movies, it does sound pretty neat
heading out.
being an archaeologist, right? And honestly, some of the stuff they get to do is pretty neat. Like, have y'all ever watched, I love that show, Expedition Unknown, with Josh Gates? I mean, don't get me wrong, he's had to be on some crazy flights and stay in some crazy places, but think about getting to see all the things that he's gotten to see. That is pretty cool. Like, I have some, what do you call it,
Armed and ready.
it's like envy, but not a bad envy. Righteous envy of Josh Gates.
Master of Runecraft.
Start re-equipping this army a little. I don't have near the recruitment I need or want here. This growth is handy, but at the same time, I'm gonna get. You need the money, but I'm gonna get rid of that. Josh Gates is so entertaining. He is, man. He is. I love his shows. Anything he's in, I'll watch it. Jonas, he said, instead I'm becoming a historian. Well, that's cool. He said I wanted to be a spacecraft engineer at late public high school, and I mean, historian. Well, this is a big change, but you know, you gotta eventually decide what you want to do. And what's funny is I decided like I had to be an engineer. I just really wanted to be an engineer, and I kept thinking I have to work on aircraft. And that was the only thing I wanted to work on. I wasn't interested in anything else. I wouldn't listen to any of the teachers when they talked about anything else. All I was interested in was aircraft, and I haven't worked on aircraft since I've been out of school, and I have no regrets. Absolutely love what I do. So sometimes things just change. And you just go with it. Just go with it. One Rio Dream says wanted to be an astrophysicist, but apparently you need to not hate maths. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta get familiar with math. I did too, in my degree. Like, I never hated math. I was good at it, but I wasn't great at it. But I tell you what, you have to learn how to be good at it. So I remember getting my butt kicked in the first couple of calculus classes, and then all of a sudden it kind of just started to click, and I just got so used to doing math all the time that it no longer became a big deal. Just used to it. Naria says, as I mentioned, I wanted to be a paleontologist, but due to Asperger combined with crippling insomnia, I have permanent disability. That stinks to hear about the disability. At 100 contractors for every one actual employee.
Greetings.
Oh, that's what Daniel said. Yeah, happier now that school district. Be a Google contractor. And it stinks having the disability, but I mean, at least maybe you can keep following. Like, so one of the things I do, like, even though I'm not an aerospace engineer, is I'll still read a lot of books about like aircraft design, and you know, like the Ben Rich, who used to run the Lockheed Skunk Works, wrote a really awesome book. So like I read up on all the books just to like kind of satisfy my curiosity, even though I don't get to do it in real life. Do I still work with a lot of math? I do, Nick. It's just not calculus. Like, I haven't used any calculus since I've been out of school, honestly. I use a lot of algebra sometimes, like, depending on what I get into. But most of the time, the math I do is just more of, like, kind of common sense type stuff. Like, I'll be looking at data sets, and I want to figure out, like, an average, a median, a mode. You know, like, summing stuff. Like, it's just a lot more, like, basic type stuff. Like, most of my analytical skills get used in data stuff. So, like, my team, for instance, knows that, like, I don't know a lot of SQL code, but I know enough SQL code to get into all of our servers, and I know how to data mine, and then I know how to use some software where I can combine, like, all these different servers' data together, and I can join it and look for trends, and then I can go to my team, because my team will be decision making, right? They're more of the operators, and I'm more of like a support to them. And they'll need to make a decision, like, okay, hey, we got to make a decision on this. Like, how do we approach it? And so what I'll do is I'll get out there and I'll find all the data. I'll pull it together, and I'll put it in a form that they can use that helps answer the questions on their head, so that they can go make a decision, right? And it's a skill set that comes easier to me than it does them, because a lot of them are a lot more business focused, whereas, you know, I was a lot more analytics and, you know, math focused. And so it's kind of a cool tie-in with my team. Like,
Time for a reckoning.
in my previous roles at my current company, I worked in supply chain. So more or less, I was just straight up an industrial engineer. Like, I worked on automation, like projects like installing automation in our supply chain, working on labor standards, organizing, you know, the buildings to be more efficient, you know, just tackling problems that popped up with operations, that kind of stuff. So, like, that was my previous role. My current role, I'd say it's a lot more data analytics and business support and stuff like that. Let's see here.
Time for a reckoning. Ha ha!
All right.
Aye.
You're making some good progress here. We have pushed hard against the vampires, and it has been quite successful. We are going to have to hold back chaos in the north. That's going to be a bit of an issue. Try and get some recruiting set up. I need to get some recruiting done with Grombrindle. Let's start swapping out units with Grombrindle. Gonna need a bunch of Iron Thunders. I think they're gonna be a good base for any gun army for the dwarves. So let's get a bunch of Iron Thunders. Alright. Chug. Ooh, that's a lot of Poison Wind Globadiers. Plague Monks and Forsaken? What an odd army. They got in here Forsaken, Flagellants, Grail Relic. And an Arachnarok Spider? Odd. I'm gonna hit an encampment here and replenish some. See if we can lure these guys out into an attack. Yes, I think you a fool. Can't repair any of this stuff right now. Some skill points. Shug the Powder Master. Alright. Daniel says I've been doing clerical at a school district since 2019. Well, that's good. Lunaria says, Air is a follower of Grandpappy. I was. Last couple weeks, man. Sick with all that sinus crap. Nurgle was blessing me with all kinds of crap that I didn't want. Morning After Star says, I'm into Tzeentch and I want to purge the other demons. Well, Tzeentch is looking pretty great in Warhammer 3. I'm looking forward to that. Like, he looks like a lot of fun. I love the barrier and kind of like the hit and run, all the missile stuff. It's going to be great. Jack says, I've never played Total War, but I've always enjoyed watching your videos. Well, thanks, Jack. I actually started that way, too. Like, I watched Prince of Macedon and Clooney the Scourge making Rome Total War videos. I didn't even have the game. Couldn't play it. Didn't even have a computer to play it at the time because I was in college. But, man, I loved it. And that's kind of how I got into it too. Well, I say that I had played Shogun Total War on my home computer prior being in school and being in that position, but yeah, I watched videos before I ever got to play the game too. All right, let's see if we can blast up this army. It's an odd one. Sensor bearers are good against armor. The Forsaken are not. Not a lot of large targets in this as well. Should be able to take them, though. I'm going to just put my Iron Thunders in the middle. Let them shoot up and fight against whatever comes right up the middle. Then I'm going to have my Mountaineers kind of like pull up on this flank. I'll support them with gyros. Nice 1-2 punch there. Let's separate this a little bit.
The clans unite!
Alright, let's put a Thane over here. There we go. Defensive stance on all the missile units. Start the battle. Oh crap. Facing the wrong direction.
Defiant and unbound. Give me vengeance.
Let's quickly reposition. And then we don't need to reposition our artillery, so just go ahead and continue firing.
Vengeance! Slay the Oathbreakers!
Alright. We are repositioned. Did lose a couple artillery shots because I accidentally stuck them on my move order. I should have corrected that. It's my cannon? Yeah, fire at that. It's unfortunate I don't have my Runesmith over here so I can slow that Doom Wheel. Actually a big problem over here with that Doom Wheel. I'm gonna have to bring my gyrocopters to face it. Alright, the Iron Thunders are mowing down everything in front of them, so that is great news. I'm gonna kind of just fall back with the Mountaineers. Fold up my flank a little right here. The Iron Thunders are really getting some damage done. Let's use my Thane to try and block that. Nope, not gonna work. Okay, let's get on the Doom Wheel. Start firing at Poison Wind Globadiers because they are gonna do some nice AP damage. Fortunately, now I've got my Mountaineers caught out by Forsaken, and Mountaineers don't do the best damage versus these units. Alright, we took care of the Doom Wheel. Relatively quick, efficient. Shooting up those sensor bearers. Alright. Iron Thunders beat back the middle. We are under some heavy, heavy fire from all the Globadiers. But my Iron Thunders can start shooting at it now. Forsaken caught me and are absolutely shredding me here. Anything that doesn't have really high armor is going to get torn up by Forsaken. That weapon strength is off the charts. So it's a gold chevron unit. Unfortunately, my Mountaineers are probably going to die there. Fortunately for me, Iron Thunderers, they are taking a savage beating, but they are also fighting back very well. Yay. Keep shooting over here. Alright, our Iron Thunderers beat back everything in the middle. Just busted up the right flank. And we're about to route this side. These are Grudge Rakers, so we can put some shots on this guy while he flees. It hit him. Didn't do a ton of damage, but we hit him. Slowed him down. Alright, so good stuff. I'm gonna actually see if I can use my Iron Thunders. I wonder if we can get any shots. Actually, we don't need to kill that guy. We'll be alright. So, we won. So, Dawi Thunder was actually decently effective there. My Mountaineers were the only ones who got a little bit savaged. I half wonder if I should replace the Mountaineers with Slayers. They'd be a lot more flexible on the flanks. Mountaineers are nice because they do have specific anti-large damage, which is very important. But anyway, that worked. Got a little torn up on the flank, but we made it. Beat that scalp ache, and we're gonna probably have to end it here. I'm out of time for tonight. Hey, thank you all for all the support. I love having you on the streams. I love doing this with you. I love making content for you. Sorry I'm not always able to make as much of it as I would like. But because of all the kind donations I've been getting on string, I am working on it. I'm working hard. I'm going to have to change some plans, a few other things, but I've got a ton of content coming your way. So stay tuned, and I look very much forward to bring it to you all. It's going to be great, okay? I'll see you Thursday. I'm streaming some Warhammer 2 social battles that night, so come by. We're going to be playing a lot of Chaos. Get ready for Game 3 since a lot of Chaos is coming. So same time on Thursday night. Feel free to come join me then. Anyway, HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you all